Guinea Bissau's armed forces on Thursday formally announced a new junta leader, tightening their grip on power after a forceful takeover that erupted in the wake of the country's disputed presidential election. In a televised declaration, the military high command confirmed that General Hota Inter has been installed as head of the military government, which will preside over a one-year transitional period. Inter family, the army's chief of staff, said their intervention had become inevitable as political tensions escalated sharply following Sunday's vote. Inter said during the announcement that the inability of political actors to halt the deterioration of the political climate ultimately prompted the intervention of the armed forces. The post-president Umaru Sissoco Embalo's whereabouts remain unclear on Thursday. In an interview with the media earlier in the day, Embalo claimed he had been arrested by soldiers amid heavy gun fire near the presidential palace. However, opposition leaders insist the military actions are part of a broader scheme orchestrated by Embalo himself. Fernando Diaz, a rival presidential candidate who has also claimed victory in the election, accused the former president of fabricating the coup to prevent the announcement of the official results expected on Thursday. That's what caused by Diaz and the opposition African Party for the Independence of Guinea and Cape Verde for mass protests. The capital Bissau remained relatively calm Thursday morning, with shops reopening and public transport returning gradually. Meanwhile, political uncertainty deepened further as General Ntam also spelled and Tal in some reports was sworn in as an interim president during a short ceremony gathered by heavily armed troops. And Tam previously conceived an ally of Embalo now head the military is calling a new command following the outside leader's detention and the suspension of key state institutions. With the country entering a rapid and unpredictable transition, Guinea-Bissau faces one of its most volatile political moments in years as competing claims of election victory, allegations of a staged coup, and a newly installed junta collide in a fast-moving and uncertain crisis. And down to South Africa, a sharp diplomatic confrontation has erupted between Washington and Pretoria after U.S. President Donald Trump announced that South Africa will not be invited to the 2026 G20 summit scheduled to be held in Miami. The decision marks an unprecedented step against a founding member of the world's leading economic forum and has triggered immediate backlash from the South African government. The White House confirmed the exclusion late Wednesday, with Trump alleging that South Africa has failed to uphold global democratic values and accusing the government of enabling what he called white genocide, a claim repeatedly dismissed by experts, independent monitors, and South African authorities as false and inflammatory. Pretoria reacted swiftly and sharply in a strong word statement. The Department of International Relations and Cooperation (DIRCO) condemned the move as punitive, misleading, and informed by misinformation. Officials emphasized that G20 members is not determined by any single country, including the United States. Membership isn't America's call. A senior South African diplomat said the G20 is a multilateral institution. No member state has the authority to unilaterally move another. South Africa is the only African nation in the G20 representing the continent's interest on global economic and development matters. Analysts warn that sidelining Pretoria could have broader diplomatic consequences, potentially weakening African representation in global decision making. The Trump administration decision comes amid escalating tensions between the two nations. Relations have deteriorated sharply since Trump's return to office, particularly after his repeated claims of farm murders and white persecution in South Africa. Narratives, the Pretoria say, are rooted in extremist talking points and policy views are risks to public safety. International observers are now questioning the legality and legitimacy of the move. The G20 is a consensus driven bloc, and invitations are typically issued collectively. While the host nation plays a key role, it does not possesses unilateral authority to expel a member. Experts say that the spewed frustrated debate within the G20 over governance rules and the vulnerability of member states to political manipulation by powerful hosts. For now, the Africa is standing firm. Pretoria insisted it remains a full G20 member and will continue to engage all the states directly to challenge what it calls an unlawful and politically motivated decision. As global leaders prepare for the 2026 summit, a key question looms. Can any one country, even the United States, decide who gets a seat at the G20 table? That's a news update on Africa 24 Hours TV. Please subscribe to YouTube channel to stay connected and follow us on our social media handles. And also to get breaking news and stories, log on to our website or www.africa24hours.com. My name is Amos Zaidi.